Dear students, yesterday we had gone through first kingdom, that is Monera. Today we will start with the second kingdom, that is Protista. Protista, these are all eukaryotes. These are all eukaryotes. So how to define these protistans? These are usually unicellular in nature. That is the unique feature of this one. These are unicellular eukaryotic organisms. And this kingdom lies between primitive kingdom, that is kingdom Monera, as well as the next kingdoms, that is eukaryotic kingdoms like fungi, like animalia, as well as kingdom Plantae. Means this Protista, it is a link kingdom between prokaryotic kingdom as well as eukaryotic kingdom. Means this kingdom organisms have both the characteristic features of prokaryotes as well as eukaryotes. Hence it is a linking kingdom, it is said to be as. The best example for this one is amoeba, paramecium, eulina, etc. These are the best examples for this. This is amoeba, this is paramecium, this is eulina. These are the best examples for Protista. Even some of the lower plants also will come across over here, right? So Protistans. Next characteristic feature of this Protista. In amoeba, locomotory organs are the locomotory organs in these animals are flagella. You are observing here in eulina, flagella is there. Cilia. You are observing here cilia, paramecium. Even some of the locomotory organs which are said to be pseudopodia in case of amoeba. Pseudopodia. Pseudo means false. Podia means legs or limbs. False legs, these are called as. Such kind of locomotory organs are seen in these protistans. And these protistans are said to be as the dominant components of phytoplanktons. These are dominant components of phytoplanktons. Phytoplanktons means what? If we want to know the meaning of this one, what are planktons you may know? Planktons are nothing but they are freely sailing on the surface of the water. These are the organisms which are freely sailing on the surface of water. Such kinds of organisms are said to be as planktons. If these planktons are plants, then they are called as phytoplanktons. If these planktons are animals, then they are called as zooplanktons, right? So like that, phytoplanktons. Phyto means these are the planktons which are said as plants. These plants are responsible, means protistans are responsible for 80% of total photosynthesis what is taking place on this earth. So 80% of photosynthesis is performed by Protista, organisms which come under Protista. This is the unique feature what we should know regarding these eukaryotes, right? So protistans. Next characteristic feature of these protistans, nutrition. Nutrition. So majority of themselves are plants, hence they are autotrophs. Right? Autotrophs. And some are heterotrophs. Some are heterotrophs. Right? So autotrophs in the sense that they can synthesize their own food material. They can synthesize their own food material, right? They can synthesize their own food material. Autotrophs. Auto means self, right? Self-tropism means self, so they can prepare their own food material on their self, right? So heterotrophs means they depend on other organisms for their food. Some of the organisms are showing, some of the protistans are showing over here saprophytic mode of nutrition. Means these are the organisms which feed on dead and decaying organic matter, right? Saprophytic. And some of themselves are parasitic in nature. Parasitic in the sense that they depend on other organisms for their food material, right? So they can live inside the body of other organisms. Best example is Entamoeba histolytica. Entamoeba which lives inside the body of the human being and causes amoebiasis or amoebic dysentery. ಅದನ್ನ ಕಾಸ್ ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂತ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್. ಹಂಗ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟ್ಸ್, some of themselves are parasites, some of themselves are saprophytes, some others are holozoic in nature. Holozoic in nature. Holozoic in the sense that whole organism is ingested inside the body of these organisms. So these organisms are able to ingest, means digest the whole body of other organism inside their body. Such kind of nutrition is said to be as holozoic nutrition. Next characteristic feature is one unique feature in case of Euglena like organisms, flagellata group it comes under. So those flagellates have one body covering. It is covered by, so as usually we call cell wall. In the same way, body covering in Euglena. So itself is pellicle. Their body is encovered with a special kind of a cell wall like structure called as pellicle, right? This is also a unique feature of protistans. One of the protista, that is Euglena, is the best example for this one, right? So it comes under the group flagellata, right? And the next one is reproduction. These are also lowermost organisms. Most of the times asexual type of reproduction take place and sexual type of reproduction also take place in these cases, right? Asexual type of reproduction. Already I have mentioned what is asexual type of reproduction as well as sexual type of reproduction, right? asexual type. In this type of reproduction, there is no formation and fusion of gametes take place. Male and female gametes are not formed and they do not fuse each other and cause fertilization. Such kind of reproduction is called as asexual type of reproduction. In sexual type of reproduction is the type of reproduction in which formation and fusion of male and female gametes take place to form zygote. Right? That kind of reproduction is called as sexual type of reproduction. Right? Asexual type of reproduction usually occurs by binary fission. Yesterday I had explained what is binary fission. A cell divides into two equal sized daughter cells. Right? That is binary fission is one method of asexual type of reproduction in these protistans, and even sometimes budding also occurs over here. A small buds or protuberance is initially formed on the body of the parent organism, and later it detaches from that parent and it grows into new individual. That kind of that. And the next type of reproduction is sexual type of reproduction, in which formation and fusion of gametes that take place to form zygote. Right? Zygote grows into new individual. This is another method of reproduction. So this is all about the characteristic features of kingdom Protista. Is the second kingdom which is a link between prokaryotic kingdom, that is Monera, and eukaryotic kingdoms, that is fungi, animalia, as well as plantae. Next kingdom is kingdom Mycota. It includes fungi. ಶಿಲೀಂಧ್ರಗಳು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರೀತೀವಿ. ಆ ಒಂದು ಶಿಲೀಂಧ್ರಗಳ ಗುಂಪು ಮೈಕೋಟ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಶಿಲೀಂಧ್ರಗಳ ಒಂದು ಅಧ್ಯಯನವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮೈಕೋಲಾಜಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ದ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಆಫ್ ಮೈಕೋಲಾಜಿ is nothing but a study of fungi. Study of fungi is called as mycology. The name of this kingdom is Mycota. It includes all kinds of fungi. What these fungi are? So very peculiar characteristic feature these group of organisms have, and that peculiar characteristic feature is these are achlorophyllous, non-vascular plants. Achlorophyllous means absence of chlorophyll pigment within themselves. Non-vascular in the sense that vascular bundles are absent over here. They do not have any vascular bundles like xylem and phloem, right? And they do not have any chlorophyll pigment within themselves. And such kind of microscopic organisms, or the plants are called as mycota or fungi. They are called as, right? Here, how the plant body is. How the plant body is. When we go through some of the examples, that moment one example we can take over here. Rhizopus. Rhizopus is there. Yeast is also there, right? Yeast, Rhizopus, these are best example for these fungi. Rhizopus body, whenever we go through, that moment it has this kind of body. right? And this structure is said to be as a sporangium. Sporangium, right? And this network of filamentous structure is called as mycelium. And single filament is called as hyphae, right? Hyphae. Right? This is how the structure of this plant body. Usually the plant body of these organisms is called as mycelium. Plant body is called as mycelium. And mycelium is made up of many network-like structure or filamentous structure. Filamentous structure called as mycelium has filamentous structure and it is called as hyphae. Hyphae. And this mycelium or hyphae may be septate or aseptate, in the sense that, so say for example, this is one mycelium, filamentous structure, right? If septa are provided over here like this, then the hyphae is said to be as septate. If there is no septa, right, are present within the hyphae, then it is said to be as aseptate, right? If there are no septa like this, so then it is said to be as aseptate. If septa are present, then it is said to be as septate hyphae. In aseptate hyphae, right? So this is one aseptate hyphae. This is one aseptate hyphae, in which we come across many nuclei within it. Right? Many nuclei are present within this aseptate hyphae, right? And this condition is known as presence of many number of nuclei, multinucleate condition. Multinucleate condition is usually present in aseptate hyphae. Usually present in aseptate hyphae, multinucleate condition, or it is also known as syncytium. The condition is known as syncytium. It is called as syn in the sense that sink in the sense that fusion of many, so cells together form syncytium condition. Next characteristic feature is cell wall. Cell wall. So already I have mentioned the cell wall of fungi is made up of chitin. Chitin is the chemical component that forms the wall of this fungus. That is wall of hyphae, we can say, right? So next characteristic feature is nutrition. Nutrition. Most of these organisms, they show one important nutrition, that is heterotrophic nutrition, that is saprophytes. These are mostly, these are saprophytic nutrition they are showing. Saprophytes means what? They feed on feed on dead and decaying organic matter. They feed on dead and decaying organic. ಹೊಳಿತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತು ಇರಬಹುದು ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇವು ಫೀಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ, ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇವು ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬದುಕ್ತವೆ. That kind of that mode of nutrition is called as saprophytic nutrition or saprophytes. These organisms are commonly called as. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರೆಡ್ ಮೋಲ್ಡ್ ಕೇಳಿರಬಹುದು. ಈಗ ಬ್ರೆಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇಟ್ಟರೆ, ತೇವಾಂಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟರೆ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೂಸ್ಟ್ ಬೆಳೀತದ ಅಂತ. ದಟ್ ಬೂಸ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಂಗಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಲೆದರ್ ಶೂಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವ, ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಮೂಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಗೆದು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೇವೆ. ದಟ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್, ಸೊ ಆನ್ ದಟ್ ಬೂಸ್ಟ್ ಬೆಳೀತದ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರ. ಆನ್ ದಟ್, ಸೊ ದ ಫಂಗಸ್ ದಟ್ ಗ್ರೋಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಫೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಡೆಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡೀಕೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್. ಸಾವಯವ ವಸ್ತು ಏನಿರ್ತವ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಸೊ ಬದುಕ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತವ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಷನ್. Apart from this one, next characteristic feature is reproduction. Reproduction. Special type of reproduction has been exhibited by these fungi. So those are usually studied in PUC in detailed manner. I will mention only the headings of these methods of reproduction. Plasmogamy is one method of reproduction. Karyogamy is another type of reproduction. And third one is meiosis, occurs in zygote. As a result of meiosis, this zygote divides into 4 cells and those they grow into new organisms. An asexual type of reproduction that take place by spore formation. Spore formation. Majority of these organisms they produce spores, and these spores so they grow into new individual, right? Already I have mentioned in these plants usually sporangium is present over here. This structure is called as sporangium. One example I am mentioning. Inside this sporangium there are some spores are present. Spores are present. When this sporangium ruptures, these spores they come out. When they come out and fall on one dead and decaying organic matter, that moment once again it grows into new individual. This is how spore formation that takes place in the majority of fungi, and through those spores new individuals are found. These are the methods of reproduction in fungi, right? So this is the detailed study of kingdom Mycota, that is the study of fungi, characteristic features of fungi that we have learned in the previous classes, and the remaining things, advanced things that you are going to learn in PUC 1.